Hi, Upper Room. Thanks for tuning in to another of our discipleship coaching videos. I've been mentally obsessing with something for quite a while. I've noticed a theme and a pattern in life. Where there are good, healthy, hardworking, responsible, and conscientious leaders, there's life and all kinds of good things. Leaders make a huge difference, for better or for worse. I notice in schools, when you have high-level leaders running any kind of school, over time you'll see that school becomes healthy. I think managing a local school would be one of the hardest jobs. We should be praying for our teachers and principals and all who work with our kids. Leaders make or break a school. I see this play out in the business world. Ever have a great boss? Great businesses don't just happen. They're led by great leaders. Ever go into a restaurant and the place is spotless and clean? The staff are all looking clean cut, wide awake, and they greet you with a smile. The food is as advertised. And when you leave, you think, I'm going to go back there again soon. And then there's the other restaurant experience. The place is kind of dirty. There's a weird odor kind of lingering in the air. The lines are long. They don't have enough staff. The workers complain. The food is, in a word, disappointing. Most likely, you leave the place saying, man, that place has really gone downhill. I think I need to find another place to eat next time I go out. Most likely, behind that bad experience is a failure of leadership. There are good hospitals and bad hospitals. There's good schools and bad schools. There are good classrooms and bad classroom experiences. There are good businesses and bad businesses. I know this one thing for sure. Anytime you find something good, behind the scenes there is a good leader working hard. So what I've been learning is that every place has a culture, and it's important to learn to recognize what culture you're bumping into. If you walk into a great culture created by good leadership, you can relax and enjoy. This shouldn't be too bad. But if you walk into a bad culture, what do? I think you have a couple of choices. You could complain about things, which is so easy to do, but doesn't help at all. You can pray, that's always good. And you can get involved. You can try to have a positive impact on the negative culture. There's been a lot of conversation over the idea that not all people are leaders. Maybe not everyone was made to be the leader of an entire organization, but I think all of us have God-given potential to be powerful influences everywhere we go. You can lead from the first position, but there's actually a way to lead from what is called the second chair. My family is pretty large. There's 6 of us. I've had kids at several different schools. They have been in many different classrooms over the years with many different teachers. Our kids have been involved in lots of different local youth programs, sports mostly, and my observation of each of these leagues and teams has proven my point. Great leaders run great organizations. And great coaches help their players have high-quality, positive experiences. But you don't always have a great option for any of these things. We've had some great teachers here. We've had a few tough ones. We've had amazing coaches for our kids here in Kingman, and we've had a few bad ones. And if you think I'm being rude, I ended up coaching 2 years of middle school girls basketball because the coach before me actually hit one of my girls when she would make a mistake. The question I'm wrestling with today is, how do we love our town? How do we make Kingman better? I think we need to wield our influence much more intentionally. This is what disciples of Jesus are called to do. Everywhere we go, the place should be a little bit brighter because we're there. Everywhere we go, we are to be a positive influence. This is what it means to be salty for Jesus. I know it's easy to be salty and complain when we come across mid to bad leadership in organizations. It brings glory to God to not be salty and complain, but to be the good kind of salty and make where we're at a better place. Sometimes this is easy, and sometimes it's not. I'm involved with an organization that has struggled to be great, and I'm involved with this organization because my kids are involved and because I don't want to just complain about the problems. I want to be a part of the solution. But to stay involved means I have to deal with some really frustrating things. I have to navigate all kinds of annoying and tricky pieces within the organization. Bad communication, Check. People burnt out and not always in good moods? Check. Really poor leadership and people not flourishing as a result? Check. Here's a few things I've learned. Number one, most organizations aren't all or nothing. There are low spots and bright spots in most organizations, so calling an entire organization trash isn't probably accurate. In fact, in some struggling organizations, there's often many people trying their best to turn things around. There are hidden heroes in some places you just need eyes to see. Another thing I have learned is that staying positive is sometimes going to be really hard. And negativity and complaining are really, really cheap. It's really easy to do these things. This past week, I found myself being pretty frustrated with this organization that I work with. And twice I had to stop myself from texting other friends in the organization, wanting to say, well, you won't believe the ridiculous thing that I just ran into today. The other part about this, I've got non-Christian friends around me, and I realize if I just complain, gripe, and fuel more negative emotions about the situation, I'm not going to be very salty. My light won't be shining very brightly. These frustrating circumstances actually give me an opportunity to show everyone the Jesus who lives in me. We need to remember, the darker the room, the brighter the light. The tougher the situation, the more we have the potential to stick out. And I want to pause here for a second to say something that I truly believe in, something that I know firsthand. Leadership is hard. Organizations don't get healthy overnight. And leaders who are trying hard, they need all the grace and encouragement and support we can give them. Why am I bringing all this up today? Because I believe that God has Kingman surrounded. We always bring up the fact that 90% of the people in Kingman don't go to church. But the encouraging news is that the Christians in this town, people from our church and other churches, we've got Kingman surrounded. God has strategically placed little lanterns and little salt shakers in almost every school, business, and organization in town. The potential we have to have a positive influence on people for Christ is incredible. If the team would just do our job when we go to work, school, to serve, to shop, and to recreate, Kingman could feel the difference that lives in us. Here's a helpful activity for you to do today. Think about organizations that you've seen in Kingman that do a good job. What makes things go well for them? Why are they healthy? Next, think about organizations that you're a part of that are struggling. How can you be a leader or wield your influence in ways that make that organization better? This is how we can be salty and lit. This is how we can love Kingman into the kingdom. And one last thing. Your home, your family is the most important organization you're a part of. Are you a positive influence on your family right now or a damaging one? Are you helping your family be healthier? Or are you just complaining to others about your marriage or your kids or your parents or your siblings? What if the places and people around us that are struggling or frustrating aren't a part of our lives on accident? What if they have been placed there intentionally by God? Tell you what, I need to practice what I'm preaching today, but I'm thankful that God is convicting me because time is short. And I don't want to miss a single opportunity to do what He's made me on the earth to do. You're a disciple of Jesus. That means you're the salt of Kingman. You're a lantern set here by God to shine His light on everyone who comes near you. So what do you say? Let's love the people of Kingman into the kingdom. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.